Welcome to Bellman Woodworking and Designs with me, Brent Bellman. Today we're going to check out how to make one of these, a barbecue cart that you can use at your house for any grill or smoker that you might use. So let's check it out and see how you can make one yourself.
So for this project, it is built primarily from 2x4s. I first took all those 2x4s for the frame, because that's the first thing that has to be done for this whole project is to build a frame. So 2x4s, when you buy them, always come with the rounded edges, and so I wanted to make sure and cut all those off. And I ran everything through the planer. I wanted to have every board square, that way when everything met up in the frame, everything would be flush. I didn't want there to be anything that looked like pieces shouldn't match together, so I wanted to make sure every single board was square. After doing that, the whole structure is held together with glue and pocket hole screws. So as you saw back there, I did use a GreenEgg jig, and that has made this entire frame extremely strong. So that was something that worked really well for this. Here what you're seeing now is the bottoms. The blocks I added were for the wheels at the end, and then of course I did add more supports here, both on the top and the bottom, just to help keep the whole frame square when it's standing alone. But the GreenEgg jig and pocket hole screws did great for this. When putting 2x4s together, that was just the best way to do that. Right here with these supports, I did use brad nails to hold things in place while the glue was there, but for everything I've gone back and used screws on these. Now, the screws I used on this, I did go buy these are outdoor decking screws that are, they say guaranteed for life, and I'm always skeptical on what guaranteed for life means, but nonetheless, there's something that's rated to be outside or rated to be out in the weather, and I knew this would be something that would be sitting outside, so that's why I used those. They were great. They've got a star shape for the top there, and of course they come with a little drill bit you can put in there to help get them in, so I used my driver to put all those in. So for the shelves, I just cut a couple of 2x4s. One here that's clamped in place, and I just used that for all the shelves that I would do. That way I can make sure the boards were the same height all the way around. Yeah, it does say, if you look up on the GreenEgg website, because this cart was built to hold a GreenEgg, but it could hold anything that you wanted to, any grill that you could put in there. They say that if you build according to their plans, that the GreenEgg should be sitting about 15 inches below the top of the table. So again, I cut that 2x4 to account for what was there, so there would be a total of 15 inches of space. So again, on the top and bottom there, again, I just added some more supports. I knew these would just be shelves here. The top would just be a workspace, and the bottom would just be, holding stuff that might be inside of the cart. Nothing too major, too heavy. So I didn't worry about, I wanted the thing to be strong, but I didn't want to, over construct it. On this side here, though, I did add extra support, and actually added a couple more that are not on camera. I added in supports for the GreenEgg, because the GreenEgg weighs close to 200 pounds. You want to make sure you've got enough support to hold it in there. But again, the 2x4s, wood glue, the screws that are going in there, that they make a very, very strong and sound structure. I was able to stand up inside of the whole thing when I was done, and it hold me up and be perfectly fine. Alright, so these are 1x10s that I purchased, and these are meant to be the top and the bottom, so at that point I was just kind of cutting some of those to length. Here for the cabinet, so I decided to close in the whole cabinet here with just this is some 1/8 inch plywood. I knew it would help make the whole thing strong, and when it was all glued and fastened on the brad nails, I knew it would be strong enough to support the inside of that cabinet, but it does, again, add a lot of structural strength to the frame itself, not that it really needed it at that point. When I got the front and back, or I guess the side and the back on there, I did go back to my router and flush trimmed it just to get all the wood to size to hold it all on there. So for the inside of the cabinet, I did have to use 2 pieces there, just with the way I built that. That's kind of how I planned it, but it worked fine. So just make sure that you allowed, cut around those 2x4s there. So once that was in place, I did add that final support. That's going to be for the interior shelf. And again, that's just kind of how I designed it. I knew it would end up working out that way, but again, it looks great when it's all said and done. So again, this is cutting those 1x10s down, and these are going to be the inside shelves and the outside shelves for that. And also with those 1x10s, I ended up, I knew the outside would need something else just to make it look good. So this is just kind of a feature on the side, just to make sure that the whole thing looked good when it was all said and done. Now, since I used plywood for there, what ended up happening was to keep that design going all the way around the outside. To keep it level, I ended up putting plywood all over just so there's a level surface. So that pattern you saw me do on the outside, I ended up continuing around the whole entire cart. So that plywood just again covered up to make sure everything was level. So here at that point, I'm taking some more of those 1x10s and nailing those and gluing those on. But this is something that you don't have to do, but I felt like it just added a really great feature to the whole cart itself, and just made it just something extra that makes it stand out from other ones that may be out there. Now, one thing I'll make sure to say, and I didn't put this on camera, make sure when you are using a brad nailer, do not put your thumb near where the nails will be going. So, because I definitely shot a nail through my thumb in this project, but didn't put that on the camera. So just always be safe. Practice good tool safety. So again here, these are all those decking screws and the 1x10s I just cut down to size. They're going to be the shelf that's below the GreenEgg, the shelf the GreenEgg sits on, and also the shelves that are inside the cabinet. Now, again, I took those 1x10s, and I, on the top, originally was going to have those there. It was 3 boards going across the top, but I just decided the way it was going to line up on there just wasn't going to look good. So I ended up cutting these down to about 4 inches wide a piece, and that way I could account for even spacing on there, because the total width of it didn't allow for the boards. Even though right there you see them all look like they're evenly sitting, I had chopped all those boards down to around 4 inches. A little bit less, just to make sure they all fit across it evenly and there was even spacing. It didn't look like there was one mismatched board that was not as wide as the rest. So I did, before putting on these holes, I did countersink them, drilled them, countersunk all those holes. That way they would, all the screws would sit below the surface of the wood on there. And that's true for anywhere where there was a screw like that for the shelves or for the top. Everything was countersunk, and all the screws sit below the surface. It wanted that to be something that would get messed up. So these are the cabinet doors here. So again, they're plywood, and the other wood left from the 1x10s. So just come to size, and I'll include a video link to here. I just looked up easy ways to make cabinet doors in YouTube and found some great videos out there. So I'll include some links to those. These are just really simple doors that are glued and brad nailed together. Again, you could add more features to them with a router and a router bit. I just left them square, kind of that shaker style. I thought it looked good. But you could definitely add more to that if you wanted to. But they make a really sound cabinet door, again, when it's all glued and brad nailed together. You can add any kind of hardware to it that you want. So, again, these are the cabinet doors. The cabinet sits on the left side, as you've seen in this video. The GreenEgg sits on the right. And it looks really good. So definitely for the hinges, I only cut out these slots just on the door, and then the hinges actually just sit, they're just mounted directly to the inside of the cabinet. I didn't cut out an extra gap for them or anything like that, so the way the spacing worked, they sat in there just perfect. So got all the hardware installed and had those ready to go. So I did, as you can see in that shot, I rounded over every single edge on the whole table, and just to give it a more finished look. And as far as cutting a hole, now I don't, you don't have to put jigs. There's lots of jigs out there for routers, but I just made one myself with a piece of plywood, and that nail is set at about 10.5 inches. So I needed to get 21 inches across, so that was the radius, and find a middle point and nailed it in, and just to work that router slowly but surely around there, making multiple passes to cut that hole. So for this stain, this was an American walnut. Here's the named color. I forget the actual name. I'll have that at the end of the video. But it was a quick drying stain, so stain the entire surface underneath everything. Actually, and what you don't see here is I clear coated everything twice, so it's with an outdoor finish. So the wheels, the casters that are on there are casters that are rated for 250 pounds a piece, and then added those on, and then got the door hardware, and that really finished this project, and it looked great. So make one yourself. Good project.
Okay, so this is the completed project here. A couple things to point out to you as far as the finish. What I use, this is the Minwax. It's the indoor-outdoor Hellsman Spar Urethane. So it's a clear semi-gloss, and I got it. It says it's used for exceptional protection from sunlight, rain and moisture, and temperature change. So The whole entire thing is coated in this. I've given 2 entire coats to this, except for the inside is the only part where I didn't do that. But I think that'll be okay with the doors, inside out are coated. The underside, everything is completely coated in 2 coats of this. As far as the stain that goes, and this thing's disgusting now, but it's the Varathane wood stain. This is the American walnut. So I bought it, it said it dries in 1 hour and was ready to coat, but I give it longer than that to dry. So that's as far as the wood color that goes on here. The clear coat and sealant, everything I use, that's what I use on here. I know there's probably a lot of higher end finishes that you could use on here, but this was an outdoor finish and it was within the budget. So on that, real quick, probably all the lumber for this project was about $300, and then the hardware, well, maybe like $275. If you add up all the hardware, all the stain, finish, things like that, that probably makes out about the last $125. So total on this project is about is $400. So $275 plus $125, $400. So if you've done any research on these things, on these kind of carts for the smokers that are popular out there, whether you use a GreenEgg or something else comparable to that, they're going for $800 and higher. So this is a way you can make one for half as much. And you could spend more on it with a different type of finish. You could buy some really, super high quality, expensive marine quality finishes, but that just wasn't in the budget for me. So, but this should do just fine. A couple things to mention. I did go off, I in general use some plans off the GreenEgg website. If you look at there's the hole cut for the GreenEgg up there is 21 inches across. I used that. They state that the GreenEgg should be sitting about 15 inches below the top of the table. That's what I did there. The rest of this, anything you add to it is extra. So it does have cabinet doors. This is just some basic hardware that I bought at the Home Depot near me. But so there's extra storage here on the inside, both top and bottom, for whatever is going to go inside of there. This isn't mine, I'm building it for someone else, so whatever they want to use. I did as far as latch for the doors is just the magnetic latches that are up here. So those shut in there. And there's an extra shelf under the bottom. I don't know what you'll want to put there, but great project. And add a little bottle opener on there just as an extra. I'd seen someone else do that online. I thought that was a great idea. The casters down here, to point out, they're the highest rated casters I could buy at Home Depot. They're rated for 250 pounds a piece. I'm guessing this cart weighs somewhere in the ballpark, anywhere between 300 and 500 pounds. It's really heavy. I definitely won't be able to get it in the back of the truck myself. I'm gonna need at least another person. And the GreenEgg itself, I think, weighs about 175 pounds. So I didn't want there to be any question on whether or not these casters could hold up or not. So something to consider when you build one of these yourself. Also, these casters are about $10 a piece, but they've got brakes on that work really well. So that's also a nice thing. So every single wheel has a brake on it, so you can move it, position it wherever you want. So overall, this was a good project. It was a fun project. Really enjoyed it. I think it turned out really well. Definitely excited to hand it off to the person that's purchased it, and I think they'll be excited to get it and start using it. So definitely thanks for watching my video. Be sure to check out any of the videos I've got out there. You can look at my channel, there's lots of other stuff. That'd be great if you don't mind checking that out. If you liked this video, make sure and click that like button down the describe. And if you want to check out more videos that I've done or I'm doing, or want to get notifications about future videos, you can check that subscribe button down below. Click on that, and I'll give you notifications to any videos that I put out in the future. So definitely, again, thanks for watching this. If you like this video, feel free to share it out there for anybody that might need it or might want to build a project like this. It could help them, give them some information out there on how they could build something just like this. Also, if you want to support me and all the things I've got going on, you can check me out on Patreon. I'll put a link to that below, and that's a place where you can support me, support the videos and the projects, all those kind of things that I'm doing. So, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. So, until next time, be safe, keep learning, keep building.